and welcome to another episode of the Motorsport Sponsorship Podcast. I am your host, Belinda Risley, and today we are looking at the different types of sponsorship. Motorsport athletes, do you know how many types of sponsorships are actually available and what forms they come in? If not, you need to stay tuned to listen to A, what they are, B, the benefits to you, and C, it's going to help you identify who to contact when you are looking to seek sponsorship. So I do hope you enjoy today's episode. You might want to grab a pen and paper or listen to it at a later point in time when you're able to write down some details. The second half of today's show, we're talking to Australia Formula Open athlete Jayden Hamilton, who has only been racing for 18 months, and we're talking about his career to date, but also around his sponsorship challenges with having limited race results. And I guess the most important part here, team, is that I just want to point out that sponsorship is available to everybody, and B, you don't necessarily only get sponsorship because you have great race results. Okay, sponsorships are looking, as we keep saying, that motorsport is a business. They're looking for the marketing opportunity, they're looking for the investment, they're looking to know who you are, why they want to invest in you. There's many factors as to why businesses actually invest, so don't always just think it's about the race results. All right, team, so I hope you enjoy today's episode. Of course, if you'd like to rate over and leave us a review wherever you're listening today, that'd be fantastic. And to go into our monthly draw, don't forget, on Wednesday the 29th of May, I have an upcoming live webinar about how to get started with motorsport sponsorship. So if you're interested, read today's show notes and download and register for that upcoming webinar. Hope to see you then. Let's get started with today's show. All right, team. So number one type of sponsorship available is the common product. So quite often companies can provide you with products that will help or ease the financial burden of having to buy that product in order to compete or to train. So ideas of products could be simply oil, it could be food, it could be race suits or helmets, anything that you would generally have to invest it in to go racing. Having that product sponsor will take over that cost. So when you think about your expenses, when you're going through your expenses, write down and then beside them put if they're a P. If they're a product, then you can start to work out what kind of products, what kind of brands could I contact that would help me cover that cost of that product. So number one type is a product sponsorship. Number two type is a service. Okay, where generally a service provider provides you a service in lieu of payment. So a service provider could be someone like a personal trainer, it could be a physiotherapist, it could even be an accountant, because motorsport is a business and hopefully you've got your account set up as a business, so they provide that service in lieu of payment as well. Okay, so once again, when you're working through your expense sheet, now that you've identified your products, if you go through and work out what kind of services you could get covered or services that you would like to get covered, add that to your expense sheet. The third type of sponsorship is, and our favorite, financials. Unfortunately, as a grassroots competitor, it is very, very hard to straight up get financial assistance without people knowing you. They need to learn about you, they need to work with you before they basically hand over their cold hard cash. You may be fortunate enough to get up to, say, $1,000, or even if you've got a fantastic motorsport marketing opportunity, even up to $5,000. But when you're starting to ask for thousands of dollars, like tens and fifteens and $20,000, it is very rare for them to first up offer you that. So that's why it's great to be able to get in with a sponsor around all of these other types of sponsorship. Then you can nurture that relationship, and then in due time, when it's time to renew your contract, that you can show cause of what you've been able to do for that sponsor, and then have that easy discussion about how to upgrade to a financial support. So once again, if you feel like you can get some financial support based off the expenses that you require, maybe you already have a relationship and you know of that brand that do offer financials, then please go through that expense sheet that you've already developed and go through now and put an F next to financials that you would like to contact regarding your ongoing motorsport journey. Sponsorship type number 4 is a personal sponsor. We all know someone who loves us, whether it's Nana or Pop or an auntie and uncle or a great friend that really just wants to support us on our journey and financially may be able to assist us. So they are called a personal sponsor. This is a great contact to have, that when you go to join a team, that basically they are your number one supporter. Generally, it is a financial support when they're a personal sponsor, and I have previously done a fantastic podcast with Ben Blackburn around personal sponsorship and why he engages with personal sponsorship. So I'll add that podcast to today's episode, and you can check out why Ben personally sponsors pretty much 3 of names that you're going to know within the motorsport industry and the benefits that he gets from it as a personal sponsor. Type number 5 team is being an ambassador of a business. Okay, so a lot of businesses actually have an ambassador program, and this is when you're on socials and you generally will see a sponsored ad where they'll say that they are an ambassador of the business, and what that entails is sometimes they get their products and services, but other times they might get in-house training as well. So for example, Motivate Training does have an ambassador program. I open it up once a year. Generally, it will take in 10 ambassadors for different categories within the sport. And what we do is have monthly coaching calls. I offer free training. So all the courses and training that I do, they get free access to all of that. And in lieu, I request that they do social media posts, they do testimonials, and they do some public appearances for me. They may hand out flyers. And so that's a form of sponsorship as well. So also when you're looking for companies to work for, if they're looking for ambassadors, Google that. Google companies that offer ambassador programs, and then you can see what the benefits are of becoming an ambassador. And our 6th type of sponsorship is affiliates. So if you're not sure what an affiliate is, it's basically if you want to work with a business, some organization, depending on what they are, may have an affiliate program whereby you promote their products or services and you get a special link. And with that link, one, you might actually get financials back from that link, or you might get a discount on that product or service. So it just depends again on how it's set up. So again, I'll just use Motivate as an example, that I do have an affiliate program. We have a range of online courses, and if it's free to sign up to the affiliate program. If you obviously love our programs, you may have previously been a client of Motivate, or you just like the concept of it, again, you can sign up for the free program, and then every time we go to launch a special event or a course or something new, we send out an affiliate email and advise you of what that is, full of social media content and your special link that you can promote. And then basically any sales that you make from that, you get back into your pocket. So we have a 50% rebate basically on most of our courses and stuff. But again, different businesses are going to have different rates and affiliate programs. So do try and research affiliate programs. That is another way to try and get not lots of cash, but cash a little bit easier than asking for financial sponsors. So team, just to recap those 6 types of sponsorship. So you've got the products, you've got services, financials, personal, ambassador, and affiliates. So now, as I said, you go through that expense sheet that you can put PSF, ambassador, affiliate links, and then also look into those organizations that you're wanting to work with, and then see how based off your expense sheet, who can you now go and contact. If you do need any assistance, feel free to reach out. We've got the new membership sponsorship club that is going to be launching on the 1st of July, which is going to be everything sponsorships, including where the current sponsorship opportunities are and where there's affiliate programs, where the ambassador programs. So if those values align with yourself and the type of products and services that you do require, we're going to actually have those all listed inside that membership club. So, team, that's all for me this week. Of course, please stay tuned to stage 2 of the podcast, where we're going to be interviewing Jaden Hamilton around about his sponsorship challenges as a beginner to amateur motorsport competitor. Hi guys, Belinda from Motivate Training and Management. And this week on the motorsport sponsorship chat, we're going to be talking to Jaden Hamilton. He's going to be jumping on in a minute to talk about his sponsorship journey. So if you guys got any questions around your motorsport sponsorship journey, just pop them into the comments below. Be happy to answer them. And of course, if you haven't already, please race over and subscribe to our new podcast called the Motorsport Sponsorship Podcast, available on Apple, Spotify, and coming soon to Google Play. Hey Fletch, hey Jimmy, hey Mark, how are you? All right, Luca, welcome. Again, if there's any questions regarding motorsport sponsorship, just pop them into the comment, and we're going to be joined with Jaden Hamilton in a moment to talk about his sponsorship journey. If you haven't already seen, next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at 12 p.m. We'll be doing a live webinar around about getting started with sponsorship. So if you're within the first, say, 12 months of your motorsport journey and you're wanting to learn more about sponsorship, or basically like how to get started, then please jump over and join the free webinar. Even if you can't join live, we will be having the replay available for you. So that's the Get Started with the Motorsport Sponsorship webinar next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So we're just waiting for Jaden Hamilton to jump online. Jaden, there'll be a little button to see the bottom where it says like there's a video and a plus. Or maybe it's actually the next one that invite to join here. To talk about his motorsport sponsorship journey. Jaden has a really cool story. He's come such a long way in the last 18 months. Pretty much he started out in indoor go-karting, and then he had a love and a passion about indoor go-karting. Dad went and bought him a go-kart, and now he's actually racing in Australia Formula Open. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. So welcome to the show. Tell us everyone a little about you.
So I'm Jaden Hamilton. I'm 16, turning 17 this year. I've been racing officially for about a year and a bit now, so probably 18 months.
Yeah.
And I've just started my debut in Australia Formula Open.
Yeah, how fantastic. So 18 months ago, what were you doing, and how did you even find motorsports?
So I originally started in a driver academy for Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just doing rental karts like once every week for a term. And then I started doing that for a bit, but then COVID came along. So then I wasn't able to do it anymore for like a year. Came back and tried it again. And then we did that for about 2 semesters. And then Dad got me a proper go-kart at the end of 2020, was it 1 or 2? 2021. And then I started driving up at Stony Creek. And then from there, I then went to Oakley, started doing club days. And then, after a year, I'm now driving for Tim Macro in Australia Formula Open.
That is so awesome. So how did you even find out about motorsport? Was it from Drive to Survive, or tell us, how did you even get into the sport?
Well, Dad's always had me interested in it as a kid. Obviously, Cars, the movie, Pixar. I've always loved Lightning McQueen, obviously. And Dad's got me to do some rental karting with him when I was younger. That's probably where it originally came from. I've done, like, my first birthday party that I can remember is from rental karting. Yeah. So it's really just been in me for ages. And then Dad starting up this Le Mans thing just really sparked it, and it started a passion.
So obviously, I would still classify you to be a grassroots motorsport competitor, even though you're racing Australian Formula Open, which is fantastic. How have you gone about seeking sponsorship?
So seeking sponsorship is really a numbers game. So it's like, it mainly consists of going out and actually asking. It doesn't just come normally. Like, you've actually got to go and seek it for you. So you can't really just expect anyone to just give you money out of anywhere as like a donation. Like, you have to sort of have expectations that not everyone can provide you what exactly you're looking for, and they're going to have expectations for you by yourself. So, like for example, we've got Let's Go Motorhomes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't exactly give us money; they give us an RV every race meet, which helps support us because one, we have transportation to get up to every race meet if we can't exactly fly up, and two, it also helps with accommodation. We don't have to pay for accommodation as much. Oh, and you've disappeared for a second.
I'm sorry. I thought I was going to flip you and I around. As I said, I'm all like new to me. I thought I was going to like put you up the
No,
top.
that's right.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's some different types of sponsorships, not necessarily only money, but it does help us in the long term with costs, which is
Fantastic. Yeah.
really good.
And that motorhome is amazing. I've seen the
Yeah,
motorhome.
yeah.
And so, like, how many rounds does the Australian Formula Open have this year, or how many rounds are you racing anything else external to AFO this year?
I think off the top of my head, it's about, is it seven? Yeah, seven
Yeah.
races. And this is the third one coming up this weekend at Sydney, which is really good. So then we're going to fly up tomorrow afternoon and pick up an RV at the airport. So then
Yeah.
they're still participating in our sponsorship, even though we're having to fly up just because of school. I'm having to still do school and then like quickly get up in one day. You can't really do that across driving 10 hours.
But it's not just yourself and your dad, is it?
Yeah, so it will be, well, this trip, it looks like it might just be us at the
Oh,
moment. So,
like sometimes.
but most of the time, it's going to be all of us, yeah. So, like, if we do South Australia, we're probably going to have my entire family drive up in the RV,
Hmm.
which is a massive help instead of having us all cram in Dad's ute and staying at a roadside motel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
yeah, and so again, you're saying about you've got GV. So what was it? Go. What was the name of your sponsor? Sorry,
Let's go motorhomes.
Let's Go Motorhome. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had a meeting today with GV, so I was like, that's why I've got
Oh, that's why you're
motorhomes.
going to in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've got like GV in my head. Fantastic. And so, so starting out as well, like when it comes to, I guess, packaging your sponsorship proposal together, how have you done that? Obviously, because you've only been racing for within the 12 months. And so I think it's really important for people to think into a process that it's like you do actually have things to to package up.
Yeah, so it's really talking about like you're sort of going to say what you can give to them, so
Mhm.
sort of how they're going to benefit out of sponsoring you, not just asking them to sponsor you because you need the funds. So like you can say like exposure, or you're going to do like events for them, like promotion events. So like for example, I could bring the car to one of their events and help promote it for them, or I could do social media things generally as well, which is what most people normally go down with sponsorship, just social media coverage.
And I'm
So
just
that's, oh, no, you go, sorry.
no, 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 go, go, no, sorry, finish off. I was going left to field, so go.
That's right. Yeah, so pretty much you pack all of that into an email and then you normally just send that through to normally a couple of different companies a week. And
Yeah.
then you'll get maybe one or two right back that are interested. And then once you do that, then you can start talking negotiations of what then they can offer, not going straight into what can you offer me if I put your name on my car, that
Hmm.
sort of thing.
As I said, I was just going to go left of field there for a minute, Jada.
Well,
I think there's be a lot of people that are tuning in at the moment. I would love to know, obviously, for 12 to 18 months, just to go from indoor go karts to outdoor go karts to AFO. How's that journey been for you from a driver's perspective, not so much sponsorship?
from a driving perspective, it's been probably a big leap,
Hmm.
considering I've only been in race karts for about, yeah, 18 months, as I said before. So, yeah, it took some balls, to be honest. But I've gone there in the end. It's been really good. It's been really good for me.
And hey, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a not it's a lot cleaner, isn't it? There's no like dirt
Yeah,
in your car.
yeah. It's like next to no bumping. People don't want to break their cars.
That's
Like,
it's
yeah, people are a lot more experienced as well in cars,
yeah.
so sort of everyone knows what's happening around the track. Whereas when you have go-karters, it's like sort of everyone's on the same level of learning.
Hmm.
So then, yeah, you can be a little bit shovey. Yeah.
And I don't know if you actually know the answer to this question because it's probably more of a dad question, but financially, is there much difference between karts and AFO? Like if you're going to do 7 rounds as opposed to, say, racing 30 weekends in a year?
That is definitely more of a dad question,
That's
but
the question
I really
I
only know that in comparison to 86s when
Yep.
we were looking down that route, we
Yep.
were comparing to one of my race friends, and her
Mhm.
dad was saying that yeah, AKC was like on a similar level, if not more expensive to 86s, just from like going around Australia with accommodation and flights, like yeah,
Yeah.
engine rebuilds. That's there too, so he can answer
I,
some
I,
questions.
I know Dad's sitting there. I didn't know he was going to come on.
Yeah, so
um,
I'm not too sure about the specifics with AFO compared to karting there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah.
All
There you
right, so
have
back to the
it.
sponsorship side of things. Don't forget about your number one merchandise provider. Tell us a little about the company that helps with your merchandise,
So yeah, IMCO is my mum's company,
which is
or my parents'
fantastic.
company.
Yeah.
So what they do is that at the moment they've just launched a just like positive affirmation clothing brand. So I don't know which arm it's on, but is it the same?
I don't know if it's on there.
So like, hang on, trying to angle the phone here.
So
So like,
basically, the concept is that when you turn it upside
yeah,
down, that those that are wearing it can read the affirmation just
yeah.
while
So
you're putting it
then,
up.
yeah, I was just trying to show an example and then explain it.
Show us an example. I was like, just whilst you're finding where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like it's more like a subconscious type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you know you're wearing it, and like with some of our other clothes, you can actually feel the embroidery in like your pockets. So you can sort of like
The century thing, isn't it?
yeah, so it's more centuries, and then like you can feel like, for example, on mine I've got like undefeated on one of mine, or fearless.
So the
So
motorsport
like
athletes can actually get their mantras put onto these shirts that your mum
yeah,
um, designs.
yeah, yeah. So then like if they're feeling down after a bad race or something, they can feel it and then sort of hype themselves back up again and ready for the next race, which all goes along with mental in motorsport, where you need
I
to
love
have
it.
strong mentality and have good like mental momentum as well as the physical momentum on the track.
Yeah, I love it. And do you just have it on the merchandise? And are you selling your merchandise at this point, or you just you're in the process of developing some merchandise to be sold later on?
I think we're more on the development stage at the moment, like
Hmm.
pre-release. Like I reckon we're
Yeah.
pretty close to release for it officially. But at the moment, it is just sort of exclusive with, for example, MKC. We've done some clothes for them, but
Yeah.
we haven't actually fully released it as our own yet.
And Emma just wrote from MKC. The shirts are amazing, super comfortable, and definitely helps mentally. And I love them too. And I'm going to get some done as well, guys. So, for those who want to know more about these products, where can they race over and to find them out? Which
I don't
one's
think we
website or
just
Facebook
mainly Instagram.
page? Or
Yeah,
what? Sorry.
Instagram, Facebook. We've got it. We've got the link on the side of the car. So I
Hmm.
think it's imco.com.au.
Yep.
So you
Cool.
can go to look for more. Once we've released it, I'll probably post it on Instagram once we have released, and they'll also post as well.
And for those who don't know your Instagram handle, how can people follow your journey?
Um, as in like just my username or
Yep.
what?
Yep. So
Like,
that's your handle. So at Jaden.
I don't know it off by heart. So
I think it's at
Uh, yeah,
at Jaden
Jaden
underscore H dot
A. Top
43.
43. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I was thinking of my old one before I changed it, and I couldn't remember what I changed it to properly.
Oh, cool. And there's another fantastic comment from J.M. Davey. Love our gear here too. Awesome designs. I love the positive messages.
Yeah,
So give
thanks,
it up.
thanks, Jazz. Thank you, Jazz.
Cool. I was like, do you know who that person is?
Yeah, he's my uncle. Yeah,
Oh,
we've spread some merch in the family as well. I don't know if you would have seen it, but on my Instagram page we had like pretty much a sea of purple at Winton,
yeah.
just up at the top. Everyone was wearing like this pretty much exact shirt that
Yeah.
I'm wearing, which is really good.
Fantastic. So fantastic. So I'll go back to the sponsorship question. So we mentioned about the cost being different from T86 to AFO, I guess like why did you decide to go to AFO, and did you feel like there was more sponsorship opportunities being an open wheeler, or was it predominantly because of your racing wants and like that you're wanting to go more as you progress through the categories into an open wheeler?
It was sort of more for progression.
Mhm.
Like I wanted to mainly look at doing open wheelers, so
Um, yeah.
that's what I've that's what I've originally wanted to do. But we're looking at an 86 for more like a budget route, so I could continue racing and maybe get pro. But
Yep.
we decided to go into the Formula route because I was going to look at doing the Ferrari Driver Academy.
Yep.
So then I connected to Adam Gotch, but I was supposed to do a test day with him in November last year, except he wasn't available. He was in Macau at the time.
Yep.
So then he directed me to Tim, and I did a couple of test days with him, and then he asked me if I wanted to race for him, and then I went, yeah, okay, I'll race, and talked to Dad, and we had a few discussions, and then yeah. But it has been what I've wanted to do is open wheeler. I've just liked that style of racing a bit more. But when it comes to sponsorship, it's it's been a little bit harder for open wheels, just because we've mainly got like tin tops here. It's like with V8 supercars and 86s, everyone wants to see their names on those more popular cars, the ones
Yeah.
that get named more. So it's just really more about the coverage. So they don't get covered as much. So it's just a little
Yeah, I
bit
was about
harder.
to say that. That's my next
Yeah.
question. So, talk us through the coverage. Out of like the whole race weekend, is it just the final, or is it their live streaming available, or how does that AFO get publicity for the category?
So when it's a Shannon's event, we get streamed on Seven News. So
Hmm.
like for example, Sandown was on Seven News.
Yeah.
And then that was then streamed for pretty much the entire weekend.
Yeah.
That's like race one to final. And then for the little events, like where it's just pretty much us and some other little cars as well, that's all on Blendline TV, which
Hmm.
you just find on YouTube. And they do things like the Australian Formula 4 as well, which has just recently started again in South Australia.
And so, like when you're dealing with sponsors, do they talk about, or do they even ask the question about how much coverage do I get? Like I think sometimes a lot of categories, especially maybe like in the Speedway forum, that they go, oh well, we're not categorized, and so therefore we can't get sponsorship. Do you feel like that's the same with AFO? And if so, have you had or have you been able to overcome any of those challenges? Or again, have you ever been asked the question about will we get coverage on TV?
Normally when we send out the packages, we normally pitch the question for them. So like we've already answered the question saying how they'll be covered in the future, saying like
This
for example,
round in that round, yeah.
yes, like for example, in a few months' time we go back to Sydney again. We get streamed on Seven News. And
Hmm.
obviously they prefer Seven News over YouTube, for example, because that's on TV and more people will watch it. So then if it's predominantly on YouTube, which it has been, it's a little bit harder to get those sponsors in. But on, for example, the 86s, which is streamed pretty much on live TV, they get a bunch more sponsors because they're on TV. Everyone sees them. So they do care about that coverage, yeah.
And so have you addressed that? Have you been able to offer them benefits like with the graphic design side of things, or like getting mum to kind of tag you in to help with it, or have you been able to balance it out? And I'm just going to give mum a plug here because she's posted that there's a new website coming soon for those beautiful merchandise called www.imco.com.au. Or if you've got any inquiries about those positive affirmation shirts, please race over and email at im@imco.com.au, and of course it's in the comments if you're following along.
Yep. Hang on, I forgot the question after you've just
Indeed.
talked about that. So my apologies, question. Coverage. Oh yeah, coverage.
Dad, what was
So
the
yeah,
question?
so, I'm sorry.
Don't
So
worry, I'm like,
yeah, the thing with coverage is that we get given like sort of constraints for every like race day. So like with for example, Let's Go, they wanted like 3 posts for every race weekend, which is essentially just 1 post a day, which is pretty simple. But you
yeah,
can get harder constraints, which I can't think of at the moment because we haven't gone any harder than that. But we've also got like Jet's Gym, which is like once a week or once every 2 weeks we do a post,
yeah,
and then they give me a free gym membership.
yeah. And so what I said, like, when people are seeking sponsorship, I feel like people always just want to say, okay, well, we can post. But at the end of the day, when it comes to developing your sponsorship proposals, you want to ensure that you're factoring your worth as well, because we know that it takes a lot of time to actually do a video, to actually do a post, to do a reel, to do a YouTube, to do a vlog, to do a podcast, whatever your form of preferred medium platform is, that it does take time. So when you're doing that, you need to make sure that you're factoring that into the cost when it comes to sponsorship as well. And of course, and I always use this analogy, but if someone's giving you $5,000 and someone's only giving you $500, you want to ensure that your benefits and like the return on investment is going to be a little bit different. So if someone's giving you $5,000, you want to make sure that you giving them a lot more exposure, as opposed to our great friend who's giving us $500, but they could be happy with one post over the race week, and that's 21 times in a year, and that's going to give them great exposure. So you need to actually speak to the sponsor and get that clarified. What are they after? And then that's how you know what to put into that proposal at the end. So first you need to talk, you need to listen, and then we develop the sponsorship proposal to what they're actually saying to you, what they are wanting. Correct, Jaden?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So when it comes to like asking what exactly they want, you need to see like what's important to them. So like
Yeah.
for example, I'm always coming back to Let's Go, but that's because they're like our main one. They want to show that RVs aren't just for old people; they're for the family. They're for family getaways, vacations. Like they want to see and get young people into it because currently their demographic is just retired people that want to go and travel around Australia. So
Yeah.
you need to just yeah, you go. No,
No, I
sorry,
was
you
going
go.
to say, and I think the last time that I saw you at Winter was like fantastic. Like your mum and your sisters were there, and obviously, like being in the motorhome, we know that we'll miss out on school. A lot of Thursdays,
Yeah,
Fridays, definitely a lot of Fridays. The occasional Thursday if we've got to travel. So having and being able to be in the GV home. What is it? Let's Go Motorhome.
let's go motorhomes. Yeah,
Yeah, that you can still do your homeschooling, and like mum with the girls can still be in a house, and like you're not having to go back and forth, and again you're saving that
yeah,
cost of not having that hotel. But you can have, basically you're just packing up your home and taking the bare essentials except for the kitchen sink into the camper van, and away you go.
yeah. It's exactly right because it also helps like especially helps my mum to keep my sisters at bay because well they need attention. They can't
Yeah,
just like they can't just
because they're
be
a lot younger.
running free. Yeah, they're younger, so it really helps my mum with that. And like yeah, as you said before, it's easier just to pack it up and go. And since we can just bring it to the track as well, it like gives me a spot to rest
Yeah.
instead of just going into, for example, Tim's truck, where just like a couch and I have to share with other people and like bother them who are trying to work. Whereas like I can just go straight into the RV and have a nap if I really want to.
Yeah, and it's going to have your pillow, your blankets, your food, mum's
Exactly.
cooking or dad's cooking, everything there. But I guess the big point that we're trying to make here with Let's Go Motorhome is that they're not directly related to motorsports. So I think one of the biggest challenges when people are like going, I don't know who to contact when it comes to seeking sponsorship, is that people always just think about motorsport brands. And obviously, there's a lot more non motorsport brands than actually motorsport brands. So Let's Go Motorhome is a fantastic product, as we said, that's providing you guys with a service that is alleviating your cost, saving you cost of actually having to invest in hotels. So that is a win. That is a major sponsor. That is fantastic. And it's also outside of sponsorship. So just remember when you're thinking about sponsorship to think outside of the actual motorsport world products and services. That can actually help you to save money or to increase your brand or to increase your fitness levels, like an example, like having personal trainers, investing in the local graphic designer to do your logo and to do your website and to do your hero cards and merchandise and all of those kind of things is going to save you costs in the long run.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Jade,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah. Here you go.
No,
Sorry,
sorry.
you go.
You just talked about constraints before,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this is a taboo topic because I've never really touched on it. But I do know that some categories actually have social media constraints. Do you guys with AFO have that? Like, I know some categories actually can't post anything because they do have legal rights with Channel 7 and so forth. Um, do you know if you do, or again, not really with social
No,
media
I don't think we do
content?
because it's all run by Tim,
Yeah.
and Tim doesn't have any constraints on it. So Blendline TV doesn't even own the rights to it. We're
Yeah.
just the ones that are hosting the event essentially.
Hmm.
But I wasn't quite sure about with Sandown with 7 years, but
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they were fine with it because we didn't get anything like we didn't have any restrictions on it. We were allowed
No
to post
news
what we
is good
wanted to.
news.
Yeah,
No news is good news. You haven't heard, that's right. But some categories do have social media constraints or like exactly what you can post, especially if they've got streaming rights and so forth. So you do need to be mindful of that when you're thinking about developing your proposals, to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what the category will or will not allow you to post going forward, especially if a major sponsor could be a conflicting sponsor of yourself and they're your number one sponsor. So that's a challenge that you're going to have to overcome. So I guess my tip there is just to make sure that you double check to see if the category does have any social media constraints on what you can and can't post.
yep.
Cool. All right. So, Jane, is there any other things that you'd like to share with us? It's been fantastic giving me insight into a motorsport athlete that's just been racing for 18 months. It's already gone from indoor go-karts to outdoor go-karts to now racing in Australia Formula Open here in Australia.
Um,
Anything else you
yeah,
want to share with us when it comes to sponsorship?
I was going to talk. Oh, when it comes to sponsorship,
Yeah, well, anything. Anything's fine.
yeah, I was I was going to talk about a quick little sneak peek coming into the later of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be having an announcement this weekend about some overseas shenanigans.
All right.
So just be on the lookout for that. It's going to have Tim Macro in it. We're going to be having a talk about it, and it should be a really good opportunity for both of us. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, which is fantastic because once again, a lot of these grassroots motorsport athletes, competitors, are wanting to go and race overseas. And so definitely having any insights to cost, to the actual ordeal about getting a contract, how it all works. Is it going through someone here in Australia or is it about going through someone overseas? This is the content that, oh, nearly hit the wrong button there. This is the content that the athletes are wanting to know. So yes, please show that on our social media. And again, how do people follow you, Jaden?
Through, oh no, I already forgot it. Jane underscore Hamilton
On Instagram, Jaden underscore H.
underscore H. Yeah, not 43.
43.
Yeah.
We'll work on that,
Yeah.
shall we?
Yeah, I'll put it in my mind. I'll try and get it.
Yeah.
I'll try and get it required.
So I guess that's another point, athletes, is that when journalists or anyone is asking what is your handle, that's your at. So is it at, motivate underscore T is my handle. At Jaden underscore H43 is his handle. Because that is what people want to know how they can follow you. So make sure
Yeah.
you know that off the top of your head going forward. Well, Jaden, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that's been beneficial to people who have tuned in. We've had lots of people come and go, which has been fantastic. And Jaden, it's been great to share your story with everybody. Again, been fantastic within the last 18 months. Also good to give Mum's business a little bit of a boost about imco.com.au. And of course, your number one sponsor, Let's Go Motorhomes. Is there is Let's Go Motorhomes are nationally based, or where are they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're nationally based. So like pretty much around everywhere. Like they're around every major airport. So like yeah, as I said earlier, we're flying up to Sydney and then getting one straight at the airport, straight away essentially.
Fantastic. Riley George Racing has just posted a question there for Jada. How many go-kart races have you won? Must have been heaps to race AFO. And this is again like what I'm trying to demyth. Is that the right word? Around about that it's not always about race results. Yes, it's about hard work, about gaining sponsorship, but it's also about where your direction is. So can you answer Riley George Racing?
Um hey
Can you see
Riley.
it? Mm-hmm.
I know this is a smart question, but yeah, again, it's not about results. And yes, I haven't won any races. So I have gone third at Geelong.
Yeah.
That's my current best. It's my currently best placing at the moment. But yeah, I haven't raced karts too much recently, but yeah.
And that's the thing, like not everybody has to start out on karting. Some people can go to karting and then they can go to Formula Fords, they can go AFO, they can go to Excels until they find their craft. And so it's about trying all these different vehicles. But unfortunately, obviously, as we all know, it's very
Yeah.
expensive to go and try all of these vehicles. But like you said at the beginning of today's interview, that you love the open wheelers and that you're wanting to
Yeah.
go F Academy. And so having that opportunity to go to AFO was that natural progression because you felt like, well, karting is not where I want to be. Some people love racing karts and they want to stay in karting and they want to tick off boxes. They want to go overseas and go through that route. And then other people still want to just go and race, straight away into the open wheelers and to get that experience straight up because that ideally is where they want to go. So thanks, Riley George Racing, who's put that still good, bro. Need to see you back at the track. And as Jaden said, he's racing this weekend at Sydney Motorsport Park. So this is round 3.
Yes, this is round 3 of the AFO. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've had fantastic results this year, though, in round 1 and 2.
Yeah. So in round 1, even though we did have car failure with car overheated, I still placed third in the F4. No, at Winton we still had only 2 F4 cars. I was still fighting for placement with the F3 cars, which I found pretty impressive. Like I was able to overtake, and I've got to say I don't have any overtaking experience in karting. I haven't done too much of that, and my pace was really good, and yeah, it was a really fun race.
Fantastic. Now, Accessible Racing Life Rate has written, what's the one thing sponsors are looking for in exchange for their sponsorship?
So the main thing they're looking for is just coverage. So they just want to be seen. They want to have like massive benefits of like their like they want you to be involved. They want you to use their product, show their product, relate to their product, or just their services in general as well. Like to show that you appreciate it and that they just want to be seen. Like that's pretty much it. They just want to be seen.
Yeah, and again, and this is exactly why I wanted to have Jada on today because although Jada hasn't actually have all the race results over the last 18 months, he A has progressed and B he has been able to still obtain sponsorship. It's been fantastic. him and his family do a fantastic job when it comes to sponsorship relationships around about how to engage with sponsors and how to honor sponsors. And so that's why they've been successful in being on the track. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what category anybody wants to race, we all want to be racing. And so it's a credit to Jaden and his family about all the efforts they've put in and learnings that they've done with me and other people as well around about how to seek sponsorship and obtain sponsorship and to nurture that relationship. So at the end of the day, that's what sponsors are wanting to do, is basically come along with that journey with you, regardless of where you're starting out, regardless of where you're racing, as in what category. They just wanted to see that progression and to see you smile and to have lots of fun. And
Yeah,
Riley
exactly.
George is now going to follow you on YouTube. So you have to make sure that you check out. So it's Australian Formula Open this weekend to follow you. How can people follow you this weekend?
So it should be on Blendline TV, which is just blendline.tv on YouTube. It should be the first one that shows up. And that will be, I'm not so sure about streaming on Friday for practice, but definitely Saturday and Sunday for racing and qualifying.
Yeah, normally they don't do practice, but you know, it's practice. Jimmy Swanson has written, Jaden, how many races have you done so far in karting and F4? And again, this is so exciting because it's not that many.
So for go-karts, it would have been about probably.
Don't even try to guess. You don't.
Yeah.
I can't really predict it. It's been quite a few, but then in F4, I've only done 2. This is my 3rd one coming up.
Yep. But again, it's just like that karting is not just for everybody, and that people wanting to progress. And yeah, if you're not wanting to be a world champion karting racing, that you need to progress to go up to continue fulfilling your dreams. So well done, Jaden. Thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you, Pat.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, just keep on trying. You'll always hear no, but use that as motivation to prove them wrong. You'd rather prove them wrong than prove them right.
That's right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to sponsorship, it is around about customer service. And so you guys are fantastic once again with your customer service as far as talking to sponsors, keeping them in the loop with what's happening, communicating with your race results, inviting them to the race meetings. It's all of those small little things that makes a good impression on sponsorships, and that's what we're all here to talk about today. Yeah. So Jaden and Corey, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm very excited. I look forward to seeing you what happens on this weekend, and of course in your motorsport sponsorship and motorsport journey. Of course, if anyone's needing some merchandise, you can email I just wrote down the website. Anyway, there's a new website coming up with imo.com today, but it is in the notes. And if you missed out, what we're talking about is that Jada has some beautiful merchandise. It has some positive affirmations available to be written onto the shirt, so that you can feel. I don't know why I'm feeling my arm. It's not like I've got it on, but it's like. Anyway, if you've got some positive affirmations that if you're into some century or you love like mantras, and basically that if you're needing some more mental preparation, that you can get your mantra put onto your merchandise and be able to feel it and engage in that product as you're going along. And of course, if you're in the market for motorhome, whether it's for racing or for pleasure, to race over and check out Let's Go Motorhomes.com.au.
Yes, should be
yes.
.au. I'm not sure about the .au part, but I'm 90% sure. Yeah.
Anyway, let's go motorhomes. Let's go, Jaden. All the best for this week. And again, if you want to follow Jaden's journey, race over and follow Blendline TV. He's racing this weekend at Sydney Motorsport Park in Australia Formula Open. All the very best, Jaden, and thank you very much for being tonight's guest.
Thank you for having me. It's been really good. It's been really
no worries, guys. And of course, if you'd love to come on and join me on a Wednesday and share your motorsport journey, all you have to do is race it over to motivate training.com.au/Wednesdays and book your time, and we'll catch up then. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And until next week, bye.
Thank you. See ya.